Today I'm speaking with a man who does it all inside and outside of the ring, whether it be fighting top guys all throughout his career, or crossing over and dabbling into a little content creation as well. He's back in the ring on November 29th, a part of Manny Pacquiao Promotions' inaugural U.S. fight debut. Today I'm speaking with the one and only Luis Arias. Luis, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm doing well myself. Luis, I want to start with I love to know for boxers. How did you get into the sport? Was it a fight? Was it a fighter? Or was it just a specific moment that you said, "Hey, boxing is the path I want to go down"?
No, really at first it was just I needed a sport that was year round. Like I said, I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so most of the sports over there was seasonal. So my mom didn't let me really play outside, so our thing was you can only, unless you're playing sports, you can't really go play outside. So I was just into sports. I was trying to play tackle football, but at the time I was too young. So then I went up to the boxing gym at the community center, tried it out, loved it, and been boxing ever since.
The rest is history.
Yes, sir.
So this fight on the 29th, you're back in the ring against undefeated and tough Lorenzo Lorenzana. This is your third fight this year in 2025. How's camp been? How's your body feeling? Third time here this year.
Camp's been good. It's been good. I had more than enough time to that I learned about this fight. I had more, good enough time to prepare myself. We haven't been rushing. Everything's been good. I've been resting. Like you said, it is my third fight that's good. I've been active this year. I've been in the ring. It'll be my third time. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be my third 10 round fight this year.
There we go. I mentioned he's younger, but you have the experience. Do you
Yeah.
think that'll play a major role in this fight?
Yeah, it always does. I feel like, looking at his record, he hasn't really fought, much tough guys. I'm supposed to be his first, test, and I feel like we'll see after the first couple rounds how if he's ready or not, he ain't been the rounds like I have. I've gone 12 several times. I've been 10 several times. So I think it will play a factor, but we're both going to come in shape. We're both going to come and throw down, and we're going to see who's the better man at the end of the night.
100%. And I mentioned at the top, Manny Pacquiao Promotions, their first card here in the U.S. What does it mean to you to be a part of this special event, especially with a name like Manny Pacquiao attached?
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I actually had met Manny Pacquiao years ago on the come up in the Cayman Islands, actually. So it's crazy how just, the world is always I've met him before, I've met his people before, and then here I am. I got offered a fight to be part of his first inaugural card, so it's truly a blessing, to be able to showcase my skills and put on a great fight for a legend like Manny Pacquiao.
Incredible. I want to step away from boxing for half a second. I see your YouTube channel. I see your Instagram with your reels. When did you start dabbling into some content creation?
Yeah, just this last couple, I've always wanted to do, content creation a little bit and just
Mhm.
dibble and dabble. But then once I really jumped into real estate, my business partner, the people that I'm working under, have always said, now the world's changed. A lot of their traffic is coming from the internet,
Mhm.
so you got to evolve with the times, and in terms of the YouTube as well, like I've always wanted to, dib and dab in media a little bit. I got to cover the Manny Pacquiao fight when he fought Barrios,
Pretty cool.
so I've been trying to cover a little boxing because like I'm older, so eventually I'm gonna need to stop fighting.
Do you find it maybe a little difficult as a fighter yourself? Maybe you don't want to say anything that could ruffle any feathers because as a boxer, the work that boxers put into it. You don't want to ever take unnecessary shots at a fighter when you're talking about different fights or different fighters in particular.
Yeah, I mean, you got to sell the fight, but at the end of the
Mhm.
day, it's going to be me and him right there. And then it doesn't matter what I say, don't matter what he says, don't matter who comes to see the fight, whether it's Pacquiao, whether his mom, my mom, it don't matter. At the end of the day, he got gloves, I got gloves, and we got to figure this out between me and him. So, like I said, I'm experienced. I've been there with tons of guys. I've been here before. I've been on bigger stages, so it's just another fight for me.
Definitely. I want to talk. You talked about the real estate real quick. I want to touch on that for half a second as well. What got you interested in that? Because you don't see boxers talking about interest loans, buying houses and stuff. But what was your beginning in that?
Yeah, well, with boxing and just in life in general, it's always about who you meet, So while I
Mhm.
was training at the gym, I actually met one of the top mortgage lenders in the country. His name is Sean O'Hari. He's under Geneva Financials, one of the top the mortgage lending in the game, and he himself was a top loan originator. So I used to always, pick his mind when I was at the gym because my trainer used to train me, but then he used to get training there as well. And he always told me like, whenever you're serious, man, I could teach you, and I can show you the ropes. So earlier this year I was like, man, I'm getting serious, because I knew, like I said, I'm on the tail end of my career.
Mhm.
Reached out to him. He grandfathered me into the school. I took the classes, I took the exam, I passed, and now I'm a mortgage lender. So but real estate's always it's one of those investments. You feel like a lot of top athletes, they always tell people go buy real estate or go get
Mhm.
involved in real estate, but they don't really tell us how. Like, what do you
Right.
need to do? What kind
Mhm.
of loan or can you even qualify for? There's a lot of stuff that you should know before you just bring your money and say, here you go,
Mhm.
So now that I joined that field, I'm looking to help out as many people as I can, save money on interest, pay their houses off faster, what's a good house,
Mhm.
and just be able to help out, people because like I said, you can only box for so long.
Right. No, that's great to see, active boxer already thinking about, hey, when I do hang up the gloves eventually, what's next? And that's incredible. Back to boxing, your pro debut was back in 2012, excuse me. What's the biggest difference in the sport that you see now in 2025 than when you started in 2012?
Ooh, I mean, the business is different, times are different,
Hmm.
there's a lot of, there's content fighting, there's
Hmm.
regular boxing. So boxing is just different in the whole, but I think it's still great. Still there's still fighters fighting, trying to fight the best. They're still up and coming stars. I feel like it's still a great sport, and that's the main reason why I still, want to keep throwing down was because, it's just the love for the sport and it's still at the highest level possible. So, boxing will forever live on.
Hmm. And looking at your career, I mean, you fought names like Danny Jacobs, Erickson Lubin, Jarrett Hurd, like plenty of names. When you look back at your career, what would you say was your toughest fight?
That Damon Jacobs fight was tough,
Hmm.
because I fought that fight pretty injured. That was a good one. And then the Jared Hurd fight was a tough
Yeah.
one too. I was such a big underdog, but every fight once you start getting, past the so on so bums, they're all
Mhm.
tough, man. Like any experienced vet with a lot of fights, man, they can put you in some hard fights.
Mhm. And we know November 29th, you're going to do so. If you had to message to your fans about what they can expect, and anybody can expect when they tune in to your fight on November 29th, what would that message be?
Every time Luis Arias steps in the ring, he's coming to put on a show and put on a great fight. Young Kai here, undefeated, he wants to protect his record, but I'm coming to throw down. Like this is a big opportunity for me. I beat him. I can put myself in a very huge fight afterwards, and who doesn't like big fights? So tune in. I'm coming to put on a show. I'm gonna be in great shape, and I'm coming to still, be the fight of the night.
It's incredible. Luis, I'll be tuned in. I know a lot of people will be tuned in as well. Best of luck on November 29th. Thanks for taking the time today.
Appreciate it, 100%.